It's time, everybody, for day 2 of the SPL 2015's SPL. That is, a new season has already started. It started yesterday, and it continues today, Valdez.
I'm so happy to be back today. We have so much StarCraft this week, man. Every single day we are going to have StarCraft being played. Of course, on Monday and Tuesday, Pro League. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we will have the individual league. And we had a lot of fun yesterday. It was the first day of Pro League. Great cast. And today, though, we are having, arguably some of the better teams coming out here. The teams that got farther in last round. Yep.
The 2 finalists from last season, as well as the champion, of course, in KT Rolster to start things off. And, of course, Jin Air will be playing against KT first, one of our top 4 teams from last season. And then, of course, looking at the rest of the matches we've got later on, SKT is going to be playing as well. And with the matches that we have today, I think a lot of people are thinking MVP. The 4th team is going to be a little bit of an underdog going into this one. But I really feel like MVP is going to do really well this season.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. I feel like they could even come out today and surprise some people. The matchups that I saw didn't really quite favor them, but, they have a bunch of players that are very scrappy that can take games off people in SKT. SKT, they lost a lot of good players, and they have to prove something as well after losing those players.
They definitely do. Of course, our first match as well, most people favoring the champions of last season, KT Rolster here. But I feel like the matches today are going to be close. I feel like if you think about the way things were yesterday, even though the matches didn't look like they were going to be close, they both went to the ace matches. So I feel like it's hard to really predict, of course, this early in the season, how well these matches are going to go for these teams. I want to say that both the telecom teams are highly favored here, but you never really know, especially with what we saw yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, out of all the teams here, I would actually predict KT to be the best team overall. I feel like they're just the most solid overall. They have those 4 players that always come out and do really well. But, they're up against Jin Air. Jin Air is another really great team. They got some really good pickups as well. And I feel like they could come out here and take a game off of KT any day.
Absolutely could. Now there is that KT Rolster team rocking those winter jackets. Looking really good. I always love the winter time for pro gaming.
I like the black. Just like with the trim of red, on the inside. You can see on some of the players there on the left. It's looking pretty good.
It does indeed. Even their warmer T-shirts were looking pretty good, too. Now, here is Jin Air Green Wings. Looking the same as always, donning the same jackets that they wore last year. And very similar jersey style. Looks like they got rid of that little tie thing they had going on.
I was going to mention that, man. I'm like, thank God the tie is gone, guys. Everyone can rejoice, at least for Pro League. But, guys, as you see on stage there, Zest versus Maru is the first matchup, and what a crazy matchup to start this day with.
Yep, I think most people are favoring Zest here. He's looked really strong in recent times, although he had a lot of problems facing off against Terrans in the qualifiers for the SSL and the GSL. Maru, on the other hand, had some troubles himself, not even able to qualify for the Hot 6 Cup. And, a lot of people were surprised. He lost to Marine King. But Marine King is suddenly on fire, so no shame in that. But I feel like, again, like we've been talking about yesterday and like we're going to be talking about for the first few weeks of Pro League, is these guys need to come out and prove themselves. We need to get a reevaluation of where these players are right now.
Yeah, there's actually been a wide expanse of times, from the last time these teams played, which was, August, maybe even July. And I'm talking about all as a team. Of course, we've seen a lot of these players come out here, but Pro League's different. It's best of 1, and you're playing with your team. There's a lot more pressure. You're in the booth here. So, like you were saying, definitely got to see some of these players, stand out of the crowd and try to bring their team to victory.
That's the plan. Action over on the left side, man, trying to hide out of that camera. We see him there. He is a better shot of him. Most famous for his ceremonies that we saw from him last season. And not coming out too often to play. But when he did, he definitely played pretty well. Just kind of those backup players. You can see the studio is packed. It was actually filling up pretty early today, even before the matches started, a long time before. People showing up really early.
When we got here at 6, an hour before the cast, just to prepare, it was already half full. And that's what you get with the telecom companies coming out here and playing. But guys, as you do see on screen, the results of yesterday, 2 really close matchups here. CJ Entis able to take down Samsung Galaxy Con 3-2, and then again, Yoi Flashwolves take a 3-2 against MVP.
Yep.
Who is actually Prime.
Exactly, so don't be confused there. But both of those matches actually were very close. They went to the ace match. The favorites did win both times, but it was a lot closer than you might expect. Now, today's matchups. Zest versus Maru to start things off. Maru with a little bit more of an upward arrow. Not sure if I agree with that one personally. But then we've got TY versus SOS on Catalina. Both those upward arrows totally make sense. Flash having a terrible time in the SSL. Will play against Rogue in the same matchup on Foxtrot Labs. And then the last match, the last predetermined match, will be Stats against Cure.
You know, I actually feel for Flash going down 0-3 to life. One of the best Zergs in the world, if not the best Zerg. And he had a lot to go back over and, you know, just go back to the gaming house and be like, what did I do wrong? Oh, my God, you know, I got crushed. So I feel like he's going to be a lot better prepared for the matchup this time. But Rogue's another really good Zerg, and I don't know. I mean, we're going to have to see him be a totally new, like, practiced Terran here.
Now, if you're wondering why Rogue is, I think, maybe like one of only 2 players this whole 2 days have actually been given the up arrow indicator. I think the main reason why he's been given that is because he was able to 3-0 Sulky in the SSL. In his Zerg versus Zerg, he won 2 build order wins and then was able to take the 3rd game with really strong, decisive play. And Sulky making a big overcommit, making a big mistake. Not sure if beating Sulky 3-0 and ZBZ is enough to get an upward arrow, but that's what he's coming off of. We hadn't seen him that long, or it's been a long time since we've seen him until we saw that. So it's the best indicator we've got.
And as you guys do see here, KT Rolster's status, the players that have come in and out during the interim here between seasons, not the biggest changes here. I mean, they did lose Myungshik and Hitman, a couple of players down there, but they did get Believe here. So, you know, like I was saying before, kind of those standard 4, solid 4 that they always have, going to come out again today, and we're probably going to see them a lot in the future as well.
Now, as you can see here, our pie charts get even more interesting. As with the race distribution, we've got, 37%, 37%, and 25%. Half, basically, of the team, or I guess you could say an even split between Protoss and Terran. But KT Rolster having very few Zerg players on their list, especially with the departure of Hitman. And I actually feel kind of sad to see him go. I feel like he had a nice little spot on the team there. And I'm sorry that he decided to leave.
Yep. Well, over here for Jenner Greenwing's status, the in players were Pig Baby, Trap, and Symbol. I feel like Trap definitely going to be a great pickup there as well. But they did lose Avenge and especially True. True was looking really nice, so that's a big loss for them there. But they were able to pick up some other players.
Yeah, sick pickup in Symbol and Trap. Also, Pig Baby as well. Don't ever underestimate this guy. He all-ins a lot. You know, he has actually a lot of experience with the team as he used to be on Jin Air, and in fact was listed on their roster even though he had moved teams and was playing in North America for a really long time. He was still on the roster technically for a very long time. So Pig Baby knows the team well. And this was the pie chart I was looking forward to seeing, man. This one actually adds up to like 120%. They're actually off the charts here with their race distribution.
They have so many players, it actually doesn't fit in 100% of a pie chart. But yeah, you guys get to see there. They do have a lot of Protosses at least. That is something you can take a look at.
Yeah, half the team is Protoss. Very Protoss-heavy team. And I feel like the trades that they got were really, really nice. The pickup on Symbol, if you've been following StarCraft 2 since the beginning of time, or rather since the beginning of its time, you definitely know this guy really well. Now we're going to go into our coach interview. Bit of a festive spirit here with these antlers.
I don't know, man. I like it. It's good. Well, let's hear from the KT Rolster coach first.
건재했다고 볼 수 있는데 어떻게 보면 조금은 뻔했던 엔트리잖아요. 그거에 대해서 어떻게 생각하시나요?
저희 뭐 미디어
Last year you had the Fantastic Four on your team.
말씀드렸는데 그거는 살짝 그 저희의 실력을 가리는 거고요. 곧 저그 선수들 출전할 예정이고. At the media day, I told the journalists that we only have 4 good players, but that was actually just to hide our true skills. And we have more players that are performing well these days. 팬분들이 많은 선물과 그리고 생일 잔치를 해주셨는데 거기에 승리라는 숟가락을 얹도록 하겠습니다.
네. 그러면
Also, it's our team anniversary soon, so a lot of our fans came here to give presents, actually. We received presents as well as the other casters and a lot of the people out there.
Yeah, Korean commentators got presents as well.
Yep.
We all got gifts. So we're going to be talking, of course, with the Jin Air coach here. Very emotional guy at times. So we looked at all of the data before we selected our roster today. So we're really well prepared for today's matches.
이미 다 했고요.
Just asked him to say something, and he's like, I already said everything.
오늘 꼭 승리하고 저희 끝나고 난 다음에 저희 선수단이 그 사인회도 가질 예정이니까.
I'll definitely win today. And after today's match, we're going to have an autograph session. So please look forward to that.
Hear that fangirl squeal and go to the crowd. Any comments to your fans? Now asking the Jin Air coach. So the KT fans actually gave us presents today as well. So they felt pretty good about that, but they said they're going to win. So KT is going to feel pretty sad later on in the day as well. Kind of a weird interview how that closed out there, but of course here are some of the things that are brought: the KT roasted cake, as well as other snacks and treats here, as well as the roaster book spelled with a 15. That's so elite.
That is awesome, man. Actually, I love that. You guys see they brought their lunch bags down here. No, those are the presents, actually. We received some of those as well. They had pretzels in them. A Wolf favorite.
Yeah, I love pretzels, actually.
Yeah.
I'm all about pretzels, actually.
So if you guys are a Wolf fan, you want to come down to the games, you can bring in pretzels. You'll be very happy.
Yeah. Fangirl's always telling you and I that they notice that sometimes we like to enjoy a snack during the break. And the rumors are true.
It's true, guys.
We do like to eat snacks during the break. If you want to bring us some pretzels.
Yeah.
Or
Pringles.
Me.
I like the Pringles, but only the green ones.
Yeah.
Sour cream and onion, I think.
Yeah. So you don't even know the name of it. You just know it's in the green can.
I just wanted to make sure.
That's some real good marketing working on you there, Valdez. They're like, I know he likes green.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know what it tastes like.
That is a puzzle that actually shows, KT Roaster 15th anniversary.
Well, they solved the puzzle of Pro League last season. They were able to come out and win that, take first place. In an upset, most people would argue, in the finals. Most people were favoring SK. They had the better lineup. And also they had a great lineup of players, arguably as well, for just how the final rosters lined up on that final day. But weren't able to take it. And so, as a result, KT are our defending champions. Jin Air, though, looked really, really strong. And, they had a ton of fans. They had a great amount of support from the airlines as well. A ton of stewardesses coming down to the studio several times.
That was so cool, man. I loved that. I hope that happens again. But, guys, you know what that music means. We are going to introduce our players here for the first matchup between KT Roaster and Jin Air. Over here for KT Roaster, we got Zest, the Chisel Toss.
The Chisel Toss, the Kingslayer. 9-7 versus Terran in Pro League and 50-35 in all-time. He's nearly played 100 games in this league, and he's got a ton of experience coming into this. He used to call himself Pichogab, otherwise known as Cover Yourself with Blood, because this guy is out for blood. A very solid player, a very unique play style. He likes to change things up. You never really know what he's going to throw at you. You can try to make a guess, but he loves playing on King Sejong Station, and that's the map he's chosen here for game number 1.
Yeah, it really makes sense to send this guy out on King Sejong Station, like we were saying. Love to see him here. He's a very confident player, just in his personality. He has a lot of charisma as well. You guys have seen interviews before. And also in his play. It's really cool to watch him play because he's just so confident.
So Maru having a bit of a slump recently, but there haven't been that many leagues to play, and he didn't qualify for the Hot 6 Cup. Got knocked out by Marine King, if I'm not mistaken, but did fare well in the SSL and GSL qualifiers, and I suppose that's why he's got that upwards arrow coming back in here. This guy was one of the best TVP players in the league, along with TY last season, especially during the period of Protoss dominance that we had in the earlier rounds. So a lot of people really favor him here, especially fans of Maru. Been following this guy for a long time. But this is going to be a close one, I think.
Oh, definitely. Even if we haven't seen him that much around these days, he's definitely practicing. He's the ace for the Jin Air Green Wings, and he's coming out first to get the momentum going for them. I think he's going to come out here with a very strong build, and he could definitely take this one against Zest. It's really close here. I actually cannot pick a winner. It's
a really good expectation as well that Zest will be coming out on Sejong. We've seen him pick this map countless times in all matchups. So I think a smart choice by the Jin Air coach. Looks like it's time, guys. The map is loaded. It's going to game number 1, KT versus Jin Air.
Down here in the bottom right, in the red, the Protoss player for KT Rolster, it is Zest.
And Pro League is the most fun, says the one on the right. And hold that thought on the other one. Up to the top left in blue. In blue, not green, oddly enough, actually. It's Maru.
Well, we had CJ Entis yesterday playing in the red, so I guess we're getting rid of the colors, at least for now.
Yeah.
Just going to have blue versus red.
Keeping it simple. The other sign said something about the atmosphere that Zest puts out in his play. I couldn't read it fast enough. I read from right to left, as it turns out. An award here, actually, for Zest, in fact, from PGR21, which is actually a site similar to Team Liquid.
Protoss of the Year award, actually, there.
Yeah, he was given Protoss of the Year by PGR, and it's a site like PlayXP, like Team Liquid, Gosu Gamers, something like that, StarCraft Reddit, where a bunch of community members come and discuss the game and the players. Just a Korean site for that.
Yep. So normal gateway timing here for Zest. Gonna send out that scout right after. And back here at Maru's base, just pretty standard as well. Puts down the barracks and then the gas.
If you look closely here, you can actually see that I think he's played 33 games, or maybe 43 games Zest has on this map that we saw just listed there. It's actually pretty insane. And it's a Terran-favored map ever so slightly. So some really cool stats that we have here. And Zest also leading in Heart of the Swarm. Something to talk about with this map really quick, as these builders are looking extremely standard so far, is that this is one of the last times, one of the last leagues you're going to be seeing King Sejong Station in, because it has been announced that it's going to be removed, if I'm not mistaken, from the ladder pool for next season. And this is a map that actually originated in Pro League, so it's will probably be removed in round 2. So enjoy it while it lasts.
Great map. It's sad to see it go, but I'm sure we're going to add some great maps anyway to replace it, so I'm not really too concerned.
Whoa.
Shout out to the dank meme crew.
Who's that? So, that other sign in Korean said, please have both matches end really quickly, as opposed to yesterday's, which went to ace matches, so like I could take the subway home. We have a proxy factory, so
Selfish.
So things got pretty interesting pretty fast in this game here, Valdez. We're going to see probably a rushed drop with Widow Mines, potentially Hellions as well. And this is something that we see a lot of the time from TY, for example. He loves to do this on this map.
Yeah, we used to actually hate on this build a little bit because it would usually just not work out so well. But I don't know. Let's see what Maru's got planned here. So far, the racks, or rather the factory goes down, and the starport to follow it up right away. Like you were mentioning, Widow Mine started right away, so we're going to see that Widow Mine drop.
So far, completely unscouted, of course. And that's a scary thing here. Taking a look at our first-person views. I love this, by the way. Personal screens here. It's getting really personal. I know a lot of people were talking about this in the foreign community. Well, they really like to see this. This is, even though this used to be a staple of Korean StarCraft, we used to see this all the time back on GameNet and NBC. It's actually unique that we get to see both screens at the same time. This is something we've never really seen before.
Yeah, I actually love this. This is actually my favorite addition to Pro League so far, I have to say. And I hope they continue doing this. Definitely do not take this away.
Don't
super
you dare
enjoyable.
Take it away.
I know you're listening to me.
So we have a Twilight Council coming up, meanwhile. That's the tech of choice for Zest. But let's see what Maru gets done here. He's moving across the map with his Marines.
Yeah, I think I only saw one Widow Mine being made there, actually. And Hellion to follow that up.
Yeah, Hellion to follow up. The medevac is done. So the Hellion can do a lot of actual finishing damage to any damage probes by those Marines.
And a second Hellion to follow up here. So just one Widow Mine, 2 Hellions, and 5 Marines in the front with an SCV.
All right, back to that normal screen now so you guys can watch this in all its 1080p glory. Here comes that drop boosting in. And there's the Nexus Cannon being baited out at the natural. And the Hellions trying to target these probes, which actually line up! Well, that was scary there for a moment. He also picks up a Stalker with the Widow Mine. That's a nice grab there.
That was actually so nice. He targeted down the probes that were near the Widow Mine that Zest was trying to get them to target. And it actually targeted the Stalker instead. Ends up getting 10 probe kills. That is a huge amount of damage here. And you could tell Zest wasn't really expecting that.
No, he was not. And not only does he get that damage, but he used the Nexus Core, or rather the Mothership Core's Nexus Cannon energy And once that fades away, he's got the follow-up drop ready to come in here. The Widowmine is still alive, mind you, and since he doesn't have detection at all, no cannons, his robe was not even halfway done. He has no answer for that, so he's only mining from his natural right now, which is about to be under fire from a second drop here.
Really, really annoying for Zest here. Maru already putting on the pressure from the beginning of the game. It seems like Zest is prepared, though, in that natural base. So Maru's being a bit tentative to drop there. He's trying to actually sneak a Widowmine in the front.
Barely gets it in.
Wow. Oh my God.
We got the Mothership Core. And now coming in with another Widowmine at the same location.
This is actually delaying Zest's mining a ton because
Look
of
at
that
his supply.
issue. He's trying to Chrono Boost out an Observer here, and he needs it.
I can't believe we lost that Mothership Core. That's disastrous. We'll clean these both up now without a problem. But he's still got that third one to deal with in the main, and he definitely wants to go over and get that ASAP so he can finally start to have two-base saturation. The worker count right now is 29 to 24 in Maru's favor, which you never want to be in down on workers as a Protoss. You want to be ahead because you have that Chrono Boost ability, because the Terran has mules on top of their Harvester count. So you really need to make up for that. Oh, he's going for it again. So much more lost mining time here.
This is so annoying for Zest right now. And really nice burrow micro here from Maru. He's not waiting. He's waiting until he can get a good shot here. But in the end, Zest is going to micro that one probe in. But Maru saves the Widowmine, actually, and will get away easily.
Something else we haven't even talked about, by the way, Valdez, is that Blink was canceled during all of this. And he's just now restarting it. So he doesn't even have that tech, which is part of the reason why he struggled so much to chase these drops down and finish them off. So Maru has two bases, Medivacs, now Stim is on the way. He's got a strong Bioforce back at home. He's ahead in every way possible, and it looks to try to even further that lead right now. Doesn't get that Widowmine shot up. It was still on cooldown, but going into the main base now, there's not any probes really here to kill. He's got a few of them left.
Yeah, trying to drop out those Marines first. Get some kills here, but the Widowmine is alone, and Zest will micro that one guy forward. He's not going to save the Widowmine this time, though. Bit too dangerous here. Yeah,
you can see Maru was thinking about it, thinking about lifting that up and trying to save it, but I think he made the right choice there. Especially because for him, I'm feeling like he's not sure about the Blink situation.
Yeah, he sees that Twilight Council. He's like, I just got to be careful. Can't really risk it.
This pressure that we're going to see here is pretty scary. The only thing that's missing is Stim, obviously. With Stim, he could possibly even end the game at this point. But since he doesn't have that, he's going to bait this Mothership Core out to use that Nexus Cannon again. It's got 145 energy right now, so plenty enough to use that first Nexus Cannon. By the time that fades, though, Stim will be done, and combat shields are not too far along. Not to mention +1 attack.
Yeah. Really, really strong push out here. He's really delayed Zest's whole game here. Look at Zest's army right now. He's really going to have to rely on that Nexus Cannon, but there are just so many Terran units here. Zest being forced to pull off the probes off the line, and this just may be too much Terran.
Yeah, it may be. Maybe I spoke too soon, actually, about him being able to hold without the Stim. GG.
There was just way too much damage done. He got way too far behind, and Maru's like, oh, easy, just follow-up push. GG. The win does go to Maru here. First game going to Jin Air.
Maru just shreked him, man. That was a very one-sided game. Zest did not scout the proxy. He did not have detection. You might argue that was a build order disadvantage because obviously he was going for a Blink Rush strategy, which doesn't provide detection. He didn't build a Forge with that, so he didn't have any cannons up. And he just really did not expect Maru to use a strategy like this. And that's what cost him the game. It's not like he really misplayed. He was just behind from the fact that he didn't have detection.
Yeah.
And then the targeting and the micro from Maru just made his attack do so much damage.
Said Terran, hope of Terran, be the king of Terran. Yeah.
That's what he wants Maru to be, man. And
Maru is, trying to become that. What's
funny, Valdez, is that last year at the start of the season and even through most of the season, some people might even argue all of it, we were in an era of insane Protoss dominance. It was so many PvPs we've commentated. It was a matchup that was by far played the most, and it was the matchup that everyone was saying that we were just seeing the most simply because Protoss was overpowered or Protoss was doing really well. We had the most Protoss. It was definitely a Protoss era. No one would argue against that.
Yeah.
And now Terrans seem to be making quite a comeback, and I wonder if this season could just be the revenge of the Terrans on the Protosses.
I think it definitely could be. Just more Terrans starting to fill out more rosters. And we're going to see a lot of great Terrans coming in here, especially out of SKT. They've picked up a couple of really good Terrans, Innovation and Dream. So definitely looking forward to their games in the future.
Now, up next, we've got TY versus SOS. Yet another Terran versus Protoss here. The same matchup, but on a different map. Catalina, a map that a lot of Terrans are really liking against Protoss in this matchup. So, really curious to see how well TY is going to do. Can he tie it up for his team? As SOS is a very solid player. We called him $$O$ for a reason. He did win that 100 grand at the IEM World Championship. Also, of course, was tied with Hero in the most winning player of 2014's Pro League season. So this guy is a very, very strong leader for his team. I feel like he fills more of a leadership role than Maru does, even though Maru is the ace player, you could argue. This guy has a lot of experience, and he's played a ton of matches, and he's very consistent.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just looking at his Pro League total right now. He's 63-27. That's one of the best records out of any other